What's up, pigs? Pig bitches. Bitch pigs. You big fucking pig bitch fart fucks. Fucking pig shits. Hello. Hi. Welcome to the Ewan, Shmewan, Pobplasp. Episode 3 by all counts. Or rather by one count, which is the count of the episode. Hi, how are you? How are you? I'm fine, thanks for, well, you know, could be better. Doing okay. Keeping on. The last few days have been a bit off in terms of art. I've not been creating as I'd like to. It's just, you know, one of those times similar to art block, I guess, where just nothing quite works out as you'd hoped it would. You draw, you paint, and nothing quite looks as it does in your head or as you planned it to, which, you know, sometimes that can happen and it's good. But most of the time it can fuck off. It's rather irritating, especially when I'm trying to do commissions and things, you know. Because if I do my own work and it fucks up, then it's like, that sucks. Oh well. But if I'm being paid to draw for somebody else and I fuck it up, and I just feel silly. I feel like a big silly goose. You know, like the Goose Game. That's a funny thing. I've not played it, but I've watched a full playthrough, and it looks most enjoyable. So today, I'm just pissing about really. I don't have too much because there's things I want to get done. Well, you know, there's things I'm working on, things I'm trying to get done, but it's not all coming out as I had been hoping. So I'm just sort of pissing about for now. Are you aware of a video game? There's two of them called Jet Set Radio, and Jet Set Radio Future, the second in the series. It's set in like a slightly futuristic Tokyo, and you go around on rocket-powered rollerblades, spraying graffiti everywhere. It's very, very cool. It's cool looking. It's cool to play. The soundtrack's fucking killer. It's really, it happens to be, especially in like my teen years, the game I've played more than any other game ever. I spent so much fucking time on that thing, especially because Jet Set Radio Future is the one I played most. It has its own little like paint program where you can design your own graffiti. So just countless hours spent fucking in that thing, making my own graffiti, spraying it around, having a laugh, fighting the gangs, the police. It's good shit, man. It's good shit. This is one of the gangs, Poison Jam, that outfits, especially in the older ones. This is from the old game Jet Set Radio. This is Jet Set Radio Future. The older costumes especially were based on like old monster movie monsters, like monster masks and shit, and then like updated looking futuristic for the second game. They're fucking cool. They're badass. And they're called Poison Jam, and their graffiti is all like drippy and purple. So there's PJ for Poison Jam. This is drawn from memory, so it's pretty correct to the best of my knowledge, because like I say, I've spent countless days, not even hours, days and months, and I was going to say months and weeks, it should be weeks and months, playing that fucking thing. And I've got all the designs fucking down for the most part. And this is supposed to be like some Japanese symbols, but I don't know exactly what they look like. So I just put a P and a J in. And Just Already a Future, the second one in particular, is like really, really neon. So the bright colours of Bic pens actually would work very well. It's a wonder I haven't drawn much of the stuff already, because it would look very good in the big pens. This is kind of messy. I'm not really paying too much attention to it. I'm just drawing something just to get me. So that was a loud one. Sorry. Just to get me doing something. Sorry, I just did a line of coke, a bump of cocaine. I didn't actually. I don't have no interest in that kind of shit. So yeah, so I'm staying busy, and that's something I advise if you feel like you're in a slump creatively. Shit's not quite working out as you'd like it to. A good idea is to just literally take a break, just do something completely different, just stop and then get back to it when you feel it's an appropriate time. But other times, just fucking fuck around. Have a draw something else, something you wouldn't normally be drawing. And then that could fuel a whole bunch of other creative things. So from this, I might end up really enjoying doing it. And I might end up drawing all the other gangs and shit from the game. Because they're all pretty cool. They've got cool designs and shit. Some of them better than others. But, you know, for the most part, they're all pretty fucking good. So he's got like crazy dungarees on. Big monster claws over his hands. And this is like a big shoulder pad with spikes on it. Yeah, that's badass. Let's get some more colours. This shoulder pad's supposed to be red, so let's make it fucking red. Yeah. Sick. So how's everyone been? I hope you're all still around, you know, surviving the shit and whatever. I can't talk too much current events on these things because, well, I can obviously, but the views the podcasts get on Patreon are, you know, there's quite, a few views. Yeah, people watch it, people enjoy it, and hello if you're watching it on Patreon. I'm glad you enjoy it enough to watch it. But most of the views they get obviously are when they go public on YouTube. So if I talk about current events, it's going to be 2 weeks in the past. Which I guess I can talk about current events with just the Patreon users. And if you're listening to this 2 weeks later or more on YouTube, go fuck yourself. Or find better commentary somewhere else, because even if I talk about current events, it's not going to be a fucking in-depth discussion, is it? It's just going to be me going, oh, did you see that big fucking explosion in Beirut? I've only ever known Beirut to be sort of synonymous with war and shit, and like not the kind of place you really want to be. So when I hear something bad happening in Beirut, I'm sure it's has nice things going on too. You know, I don't really watch news or anything, so I don't know what would be going on in general. But something like that big fuck of it explosion, you can't really miss it, can you? It's sort of everywhere, and rightly so, because it's a bit of a bastard of a thing, isn't it? Storing explosives, a shitload of them, in a warehouse, and then going, oh no, what? All of these explosives exploded. Shit. This was entirely unexpected. This is not what I thought would happen at all. Damn it. Got like a green spiky mohawk. Like the colours are almost identical. This is supposed to be like a really dark kind of navy bluish grey kind of colour, but the dark purple works pretty well. Otherwise it's light blue, red, grey. You get it. Where's that pen? Let's do some of this guy. Don't want to leave him out. It's likely I won't finish this during the course of the podcast, but I'll, work on parts of it here and there so I can give you an overall impression of how it's going to. So this mask is like a dark blue kind of colour, so it stands to reason. that I use the blue Parker pen for it. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I ate some of my famous homemade chili. It's got me all gassed up, so my apologies if I'm all burpy during today's broadcast. I do have a topic of discussion also. A bit of a potentially controversial, contentious one, which is you're always told not to judge somebody based on their appearance. You judge them on the content of their character as opposed to how they happen to look. You're told never judge a book by its cover. However, I'd say that book covers are supposed to, at least in a small part, give an indication of what is to be expected in the book. If it's a book about vampires and it's all pink and yellow with flowers on it, it's going to be silly, isn't it? The publisher will look at you and be like, what are you doing with this cover? This is silly. Murder mysteries should be dark with blood splats and knives, and if it's a book that's a compilation of short zombie stories, it should have zombies on the cover to let you know this book has got fucking zombies. And that's not to say a book has to have a cover that shows off exactly what's in it, because there's a lot of like graphic designy type covers which are just sort of fancy designs that happen to be vaguely based on the title of the book or whatever, and that's fair enough, because ultimately the cover just needs to say this is what the book is called. But as I said, I would argue that a book should give some kind of indication of what's going on inside on the cover. Now, point being, there's something I've noticed since I was a kid, really, is that a lot of times people who are really shitty kind of have a shitty look to them, if that makes sense. And it's not even necessarily in like how they dress or whatever, but like it's just something about like I don't know if I've got examples. Like if you see a mugshot of someone who fucking rapes and murders kids, most of the time you look at them and go, that looks like somebody that rapes and murders kids. If you look at mugshots of those high school guys who have raped people and gotten away with like no sentencing whatsoever, there's not even the mugshot necessarily, but just if you look at the person, look at their eyes, the mouth, and like how their face is formed, how it's held. And I'm not talking auras and energy, I'm talking physically. You can see something there that just makes them look like a fucking piece of shit. Which isn't necessarily nice to say, because someone might have certain features but be a lovely, lovely person. But I believe that oftentimes, if not more often than not, people do have something about them that sort of looks like how they are as a person. And if you see, I don't know why I'm using mugshots. It seems, I think this is one of the times I notice this sort of thing, is when you see mugshots. If you see a mugshot of someone who was like wrongly convicted, or like, a mugshot of a person of colour that has been wrongly convicted, you can kind of see in their face, like they don't necessarily look like the sort of person that would do that thing. And then if you see, and I'm not saying people of colour all look like sweethearts. Because there's one I recall. It was a black girl who was arrested for like drinking and driving and being really violent and horrible to people. And she looked like, there's just something in her face that just looked like she's a problem. Like she looks like she gets angry. And not because of the colour of her skin. I just remember it being like that. And there's, you know, when you see fucking meth heads or, you know, white people from Florida acting like lunatics, you look at them and go, they look like a lunatic. Like they look like a fucking maniac. Of course they did whatever it was they did. And I noticed that shit since school. You know, there's kids who are like problem kids who are violent, almost sociopathic. They like fucking wail chairs at other kids and stuff. And they've got like a caretaker, almost like a teaching assistant who takes care of them during the day. And there's just something in their face that you can just see, like they're a fucking problem. It's in the eyes, maybe more than anything. I don't know what it is. There's a porn star, a guy called, I think he goes by the name Nacho or something. And I think he got in a lot of trouble. Like he was in prison for violence and stuff. And if you know of him, know his work, it's very violent. Like he's violent on camera, and for the most part, it's like it's that sort of porn. It's not horrific, but it is very sort of aggressive, and he just looks violent. Like he's scary. He's a scary looking guy. He's just got a mean face, man. And when I heard that he'd gone to prison for violence and drugs and stuff, it was no surprise at all. It was like, of course, fucking look at him. He looks like a monster. Of course he's fucking gone away. And I mean, I'm speaking a lot about bad people, but also when you see someone who's, you know, in the news or something, someone who fucking, the word fucking was not necessary there at all. Someone who rescues stray dogs or something, or feeds homeless kids, just does really good shit. More often than not, they look like a nice, but they just look nice. There's like a nice look to their face. It's in their eyes, their cheeks, whatever. They have a kindness about them. The amount of times I've had, you know, friends who are girls tell me how like their boyfriend got violent or whatever, or ended up being a piece of shit, and I just think almost every time that's happened, which is strangely a lot of times, I've wanted to say, like, I could have told you that. Like they look like a fucking piece of shit. There was one guy specifically who fucking, he punched a window out. Like they got in an argument and he, you know, they were yelling and screaming, and he didn't hit her, but he yelled and screamed at her and then punched out a window, and he had a bandage on his hand, and it was a whole thing in college and whatever. And he absolutely, like, you can almost picture him in your head now. He wore like leather cuffs and very low cut V-necks, and he had like, always had this weird sort of like grin on his face, and you can almost picture him. He looks like the sort of guy who'd get angry and punch a window. And I just think, like, it's got to be like a defense mechanism, like an evolutionary thing of, you know, you see the mushroom with red spots on it, you don't fucking go near it because it's going to kill you if you eat it or even touch it. And I think it's the same with people. Like, certain people have red spots on them. I don't know. I mean, if that's offensive, then my apologies. I don't want to offend anyone. I remember, do you know Roald Dahl, the writer who wrote Willy Wonka and James and the Giant Peach and all that shit? he wrote a book called The Twits about like two awful old people who were just mean and nasty. And there's one bit I remember specifically from childhood, from when it was read to us, where it talks about how they used to be quite good-looking people, the Twits, Mr. and Mrs. Twit. But then the older they got, the nastier they got, the meaner they got. They turned ugly, like their faces grew more and more grotesque the older and nastier they got as people. And I always thought, not that that happens, but like there is something there, there's something to that. We're like nasty, horrible, evil people. Karens. Fucking Karens. Even aside from like the haircuts, every time I've seen, a white woman phoning the police because black kids are fucking playing in the street or selling lemonade or whatever it is, every time they look like the sort of person that would do that. There's just something, there is something there. I don't care what you say. If you disagree, you're wrong. You're fucking wrong. It's a thing. I swear it's a fucking thing. But again, you're not supposed to judge people based on their appearance. You do good, but... And let me be very, very clear. I don't want to get into edgy territory or anything, but I'm absolutely not suggesting that any one race looks, meaner or nastier or nicer than another. Because I don't want it to get into that I'm saying judge people based on their appearance, if they're darker, they're evil. None of that at all. There's lovely people on all sides, and there's absolute fucking cockwallops on all sides also. Every single time, without fail, every time there's been an incident with a policeman, police officer, whatever, being a piece of shit, being a big fucking piece of shit, killing someone, fucking planting drugs on someone, breaking into houses, whatever they're doing, every single time you see a picture of that policeman, even if it's a nice upstanding photo in uniform with a flag behind them, you can look at them and regardless of them being a police officer, just how they carry themselves in their face, you can see just cunt. They're just fucking, you can see it. I swear. You can fucking see it. I know I'm not alone in this. I know there's got to be people out there who feel the same way. That there is a fucking... I don't want to say energy because I don't believe in energies. I think everything is purely physical. It's not an aura thing. But I might say the word energy for like lack of a better term. Like people give off this bad energy, but they give it off physically. And I say bad because, I mean, it's just sort of... I guess that's where it gets into being like a defense thing. Because it's protecting yourself from badness. Because if it's not bad, you don't really need to notice. If someone's particularly nice, you don't need to be aware. Like if someone looks nice, you don't need to go, oh, that person looks nice. I'll remember that. You just go, oh, that person looks nice. That's cool. Because that's kind of how it should be. But if red flags come up, that's a current thing, then you should be aware of them and go, this person looks like a fucking bastard of a person. Certain people who've caused me harm in my past, they look like fucking bastards. And people should stay away from them. And whenever they get into relationships, these sorts of people, I just think, why? You're going with them? Really? Do you not see? Do you not fucking see it? Which makes me aware that, either people don't see it or they do see it and choose to ignore it. they you know, excuse it for other things. Oh, if you know, if they're attractive, or they did, you know, they can. Bad people do nice things all the time, and they might act sweet, or they might be sweet most of the time. But you can see there's fucking problems in them, man. It's badness, evil spirits and shit, man. Yeah, bad, bad, bad. What am I fucking talking about? Talking about judging people based on their appearance. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll judge everyone. Fuck you. Only God can judge. Yeah, well, God doesn't exist, so I'm going to judge in place of God. Let's take a look at an art book. This is called Giants of Megacity by the artist Electric Pick. Found out about them on Instagram. They're fucking good, man. They paint chicks, this artist, and they're really fucking good. Let's not waste any time. So this is specifically Giants of Megacity. It's giant girls in amongst metropolitan areas. Even that's cool, and it's all traditional media as well. It's ink and acrylics and stuff. Words, whatever. Giant chick in a big city. Like, that's cool. But then they get fucking better. Look at that shit, man. Look how gorgeous that is. And it's painted, like hand-painted acrylic paints, ink and whatever. The detail in the city's great. The perspective's great. The bodies are great. Like, the highlighting and the shadows are so fucking good. Definitely look him up on Instagram. I think it's a him, so apologies if not. EPHK on Instagram. They follow me and like and comment on my stuff now and again, which is hugely surprising. I was blown away when I realised they were doing that, because I think the artwork's phenomenal. They're so prolific. They make so much, and it's all like this. It's all gorgeous. They do comics like this. A lot of like X-rated stuff that's like, you know, censored for Instagram or whatever. Look at that, man. Look at that. That's so good. The details, man. I love the contrast of like just having like one colour basically with tones in it, and then the painted figure, the juice box. So nice. The shapes of everything, like, it's just cartoony enough. You know, it's just stylized, but like, it's painted so well. They get really realistic tones. The creases and shadows are like almost perfect. Really fucking good stuff, man. They've got a bunch more books and I need to get them. I got this one quite a while ago, but it's definitely one of my favourites. I need to buy loads of their books in bulk and then do a big video just about them and their work, because it's fucking good, man. The colour in there, the little hotspot highlights, the pinkies out like that, the fucking so good, and showing the different tones just in like the headphones there, without lines but with colour. Little details, little wrinkles and creases, shadows, the fucking tendons and shit, the little ridge lighting, rim lighting, whatever. It's really fucking good, man. Look at that shit. Look at it! Fucking hell, it! It's really cool. Good variety as well. Really good variety, because it's easy. If you're doing a series of images, it's so easy to just make them look really like too similar. But like that one, you know, it's a limited colour palette, but like a lot of colours in it. Noodles. And then you've got stuff like that where it's like, again, limited colour, but like base one colour in the background, more in the character. Like there's enough variation that it stays interesting. That's cool. Fucking all of it's just fucking good. Really fucking good. Line weight as well. They know exactly where to put like heavier lines and thinner lines, or no lines, or tram lines. I guess it's more of a cable car than a tram, but whatevs. Oh, that's cool. There's in Blade Runner, is it 2049 or whatever one it is? There's like a giant hologram, giant holographic woman, and it's fairly reminiscent of this, which is quite cool. Walkman there. The detail in the headphones. It's only small, like almost you wouldn't notice, but it's there. Like that's a really specific kind of headphones. It's not just, cup, strap, clip, whatever. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. The angle on that one's great. Oh, that's so nice. So fucking good. Oh, great, like sepia tone on there. God damn. And this is the sort of stuff I'd love to do more of. There's certain sci-fi graphic novel I did the art for. And when it comes to cities and stuff, I'm just like, yeah, buildings and whatever. But then you see stuff like this, and it's like it's futuristic, but only just futuristic. Like there's a lot of it looks like modern day, but then it's like just futuristic enough to look like it is in the future. And this is a really nice feeling book as well. The paper quality is really good. Nice matte finish on it. It's really, really good. It's really very good, I must say. Yeah, they've all got names, so they're all numbered with their names, which is cool. 46, so that's Shelley. That's nice. Oh man. The creases in the trousers. The shape, the whole, like every single one of them. It's just fucking good. The trousers there, man. God damn. Yeah. As I say, EPHK on Instagram. Definitely check them out. I need to get more of their shit. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. So where were we? Judging people on their appearances. Ah, it's fun and games, isn't it? I mean, I would do a let's see what I'm working on today kind of thing, but or currently at least. But like I say, I'm not really feeling the stuff I'm working on at the moment, which is a shame. I'm not feeling the current page I'm doing on Spider-Man. I need to rework that. Might rework a couple of the pages. I'm working on a top secret project I may or may not have mentioned. That's sort of like slowly getting there, but still won't be shown off for quite some time. Yeah, so for now I'm just trying to chill a bit. I'll have an art sale soon. But again, if you're watching this in 2 weeks' time, it probably would have been and gone. Yeah, give it a day or so. I'll get back into the swing of things. I've still got a couple of commissions that should be pretty fun to do. So I think I'll try to get at least one of those started, and then that might get me back on track. Hopefully, it better do. God. Can you imagine if it didn't? It'd be disastrous. Ooh. There's actually quite a lot of similarities between Jet Set Radio Future and Giants of Mega City. Not a lot, but like some. Like futuristic, like semi-futuristic Japanese city and whatever. Maybe that's about it. Let's do some of this hand before we leave for the eve. This big monster hand glove thing. It's one of those games. It's irritating actually because it was only on Jet Set Radio Future was only on the original Xbox, like the big fucking enormous Xbox, and it was not backwards compatible, or it didn't work. It wasn't forward compatible with the 360 or whatever. So I still played it, you know, when I had an Xbox 360 and whatever else. So I had to keep my Xbox around for that one single game. I was happy to, obviously, because I loved it that much, and it is that fucking good, frankly. I think that a lot of people are sort of begging for a new one, especially with, you know, the current generation of consoles and whatever. Like, they could make a really cool new Jet Set Radio game. But they won't, I guess. It was all cell shaded as well, so it like had a cool cartoony, fun look to it. It's just fucking good. I remember drawing like at least once or twice a nude Marge Simpson in the like graffiti painting program they have on there, and then I painted that around the city in the game. I was painting naked Marge Simpson. Ooh. Actually, I don't have a monitor. I think my Xbox is in a box in the cupboard in my home currently. Like none of my video game stuff, but that somehow made its way here. So I could, if I had a monitor that I could plug it into, I could play it. But I could actually like look at all the old graffiti and stuff. That would be quite a cool video actually. I might see if I can get a cheap monitor somewhere and have a go at that, have a go on that, have a go in, around and with that. The old favourite game. It would be cool nowadays as well actually to like paint some of graffiti or just drawings that I'd normally do, my little pink guy or whatever, and then get screenshots for Instagram or, you know, videos for YouTube or whatever. That'd be quite cool. Of course, nowadays, if they made a new one, you could, no doubt, import your own files for the graffiti. So it could be literally anything I can draw. I can upload it to the game and then paint it around the city. My voice is going. Jesus. It would just be a lot of fun, is what I'm saying there. I think since my voice is going somewhere, fuck knows what it's doing, it's probably a good place to end it. We've had a little draw. We've decided not only can you, but you should judge people on their appearance. And we looked at an art book. Oh, I should have done this in my sketchbook. For fuck's sake, man. I'm trying to fill up my sketchbook purely so I can do a brand new sketchbook tour video. So I should have done this shit in my sketchbook. Oh, you live and learn, don't you?